You are listening to Craftcast, the podcast, where soul meets craft. Patrick and I are back, and I said to him, what if we talk about this week about not like just the creative confusion or burnout, but just like the whole burnout when you're exhausted. And so creatively, everything goes out the window and how everything feels harder than what it should. And then really looking at, are we exhausted? I know that I got to the exhausted point and that I have to work on that first. And I know, Patrick, you were away at the Cinter Conference 2026. So you had to put out showing everyone your lovely new products and be on all the time, get there, get set up, and then teach.
hmm
And
Yes,
that's a little
yes.
exhausting.
That portion is exhausting, but it was even more exhausting just the prep up to that,
Right.
you
The
know, and
anticipation.
yeah, the anticipation, but then just making sure that I have everything that I
Right.
need and making sure that, I've presented things in the way that I want to present them
Yeah.
to make sure that people understand, all that kind of stuff. And all those little details just sort of compress and compress and compress. And then the timeline gets shorter and shorter and shorter. And
Well,
then,
yeah.
it's staying up late. I mean, we were talking before we went on air, that
Yeah.
staying up late really affects us as well. So,
Well, I talked to so many of the wonderful teachers that you were all there doing it, and everyone was in the same mental state of what you just said. And so I just wanted to talk more about today. How do we recoup without beating ourselves up? I think that's the hard one. What have
well,
you done? What have you done to recoup and get back to yourself? Or are
well,
you back making yet? Or are
I'm
you
not.
still okay?
I'm actually not.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, no, I got a little sickness from the
Right.
traveling,
Right. Of
and so I
course.
had to recuperate from that.
Right.
And it's just one of those things I have to just take care of myself. I have to remember to drink water and all
Right.
that kind of stuff. But I have to remember that creativity, that creative burnout is usually only temporary.
That's the thing
And
to remember
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah. And it's like my mind is resisting a particular idea or a project or just even the pressure of perfectionism. It's like we put all this pressure on ourselves to make this
Yeah. I
perfect
know.
thing, right? And burnout is different because, like you said, it's a little bit deeper with the exhaustion. It's
Yeah.
not just creative, but it's physical and emotional, and those
Yeah.
all those things are connected.
Yeah.
So when you're burned out, your well of energy is empty, and no amount of trying to push through things is going to fill that back up until you just get some rest.
And I don't know about you, but if I don't make something sort of every day,
hmm
it feels bad for me. I mean, so I did do one little thing that helped, which was we talked about give yourself permission to make bad art, not being perfect,
Yes.
just to do anything. So I have these set of colored pencils. Actually, my
hmm
son gave them to me, and they're in a beautiful designer packaging and everything. And I just took them out and I sat on the couch and I just did scribbling colors. And then I'm like, oh, that's a pretty color. And then I scribbled more colors. I just scribbled a whole big page of color and it looked pretty. And then I'm like, yeah, well, now what are you going to do with it? I had to, like, I couldn't, I just had to
Right.
let it be. And then it's been sitting there. And then the next night I decided I'm just going to do some Zentangle flowers. And then I started doing, and that just felt like at least I was back doing something and
hmm
okay. It was one of those, okay, we did that. That looks pretty. And it's okay that it doesn't have to be framed, put out on Instagram, that it doesn't have to go someplace else.
Right, right. Yeah, I think you said it, and giving permission to yourself to make bad art. None of us wants to make bad art.
No, and you know what? I'm going to redefine. It's not that it was bad. It just doesn't have to be framed Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. It doesn't have to be,
Yeah,
I can just do it to feel doing something.
right, right. It's that. it's that pressure to create something that's perfect,
Yeah.
which sort of kills the fun in it all,
Yeah.
and it stops the flow of things happening.
Yeah.
It's just making something that without any worry, um, eases up that pressure. And,
Yeah.
I find myself doing that. And I was just discussing this, during my class at Center about, when I take a class, I try not to be this perfectionist and I try to just specifically just learn the technique. And I tell myself
Yeah.
ahead
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
time, I'm not going to create the Mona Lisa here. I'm just learning this project process but it's hard to, to pull back. But I've been coming better and better at it as time has gone on because I really want to learn and understand whatever that instructor is
Yeah.
talking about. And I know I can go back to my studio later on, and as long as I've understood the process,
Yeah.
I
Then you
can
can
start taking
working on
time
it.
at it. Yep. Yep.
But don't you think something that gets in the way, and I'm sure other people have had that, if you're good at something, and I know some of the things I'm good at, you expect to be good in everything. So you're just are used to that. So that's also makes it a little trickier there. And I know as far as like, I know I'm a good designer. I can make something that wasn't coming out well and I'll still look good. That doesn't mean
Mhm.
I knew the techniques or anything like that. So that sort of can get in the way there as well. But it's the feeling of like, I know it's part of the creative circle, and I'll say that, we're just on that part of the circle. But when you're going through it, it's like, I want a quick fix of something, you know?
Coffee usually helps.
You know what else helps that you said that coffee, and this is silly, but I go get at one of the coffee places. I get a drink they make there that's colored in pink and it's like some mango water or something else. It looks so party and festive that I feel happier just holding it and it tastes good.
Yeah.
Those are little things that does help me. But then we should also be able to take a break without feeling like we're a failure mess and not make anything for a month even and just do something else.
Right, right. I think that when as oftentimes as creatives who are constantly having to output and output and output creative stuff, we forget that creativity oftentimes isn't like you just turn on the faucet and out comes the creativity and everything
I
is perfect.
know. Come on.
It ebbs and flows, and just like our own personal energy, there's going to be some low times. And when you have those low times, you just have to be kind to yourself and just say, hey, okay, this is part of the process.
It's that word you just said, kind to yourself. I read quotes at that point because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm beating myself up. How do I stop that? These are things that you've gotten used to in your life that you have to like recognize and stop. But I think it's hard to stop.
Yeah. Yeah. It's you have to train yourself to be able to do that.
Yeah, and,
You know,
yeah, and
it has to be a goal to say, okay, I'm not going to beat myself up over this XYZ.
yeah, yeah. I was telling you also before we started because of the news and everything. I said this week. I know we do no mow May for our garden and grass, but I thought I'm going to do at least for the last week of May, no news May kind of thing, just to keep it at a bare minimum because I've had it on all night as background noise and they're repeating the same things. And I realized like by the end of the evening, the anxiety level inside of me from it all.
Yeah, yeah. I've tried to reduce my news watching. I remember you just struck a memory with me, but my father used to listen to the news radio 24/7. He would
Oh,
have it on
really?
in the background, and it would just, and and exactly what you just said. I'd walk in as a kid, I'd go, Dad, it's the same thing over and over again. They're just repeating the same thing, and it's going to happen again the next hour and the next hour. But he needed to know what was happening up to the minute, and I get
I
it.
get it. I
I
get it
get it,
too.
you know.
I get it too because I switched to NPR and leave that on or the BBC.
Mhm.
But because they're repeating everything, because that's what you do keep hearing it over and over again, just from a different person's voice. And, by the end, so for me, I'm like nauseous and anxious, and then it's like time to go to bed. That's not a good way to do it.
Right.
I was telling you before, I'm listening to old situation comedies like Friends and Will and Grace again because it's, well, truthfully, I know their voices so well. I feel like they're friends in the living room watching TV.
Right, right.
So it's that, and they're funny, and it just much more lighthearted. We need more lighthearted, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, yeah. And then the other thing I noticed was with this burnt out feeling was that things I used because we're constantly, I mean, it's great that you and I get to talk and do this and share with people, but the amount of information besides the news that we have coming in all day long because of our phones and the internet is exhausting. And I don't think we give that enough credit. And over the holiday, the Memorial Day holiday, it ended up being a rainy mess here, but I decided to stay away from the computer and go back to something I love doing, which was reading. Remember reading books
Oh, wow. And active with pages, you mean?
with
And
pages?
paper and pages.
I did a whole thing where I thought, all right, Allison, what did you do back a billion years ago on a weekend, even more when it was raining? And I thought, let's see, you'd read your favorite book. Oh, right. Listen to music. Oh, right.
Have some tea,
Right.
get a
Um,
blanket and sit down in your favorite chair.
with my book and hang out.
Yeah.
And then back then, I even was like gourmet magazine and then think of something to cook. And I thought, that's just all disappeared because of the different lifestyle we live. So I was,
Isn't that
it,
interesting? Yeah, yeah. I hadn't even
so
thought about that. I would subscribe to tons of magazines.
I was just going to say, and magazines looking at, yeah,
Yeah, and
giving the
I would
time for that.
read, yeah, read them and just pour over every
Right,
little detail and like, oh, I'm gonna, when I get my apartment, I'm gonna do this. Look at this in Metropolitan Home. And
right.
then it's like, like you said, in Gourmet Magazine, and I want
Yes.
to cook this and
Yeah.
so on and so forth. And that's all sort of uh, fed to us in a different way now,
Yeah.
you
Very
know.
different kind of thing. I did the other thing I let myself do reading was I love Monty Don in the UK and I love
I love him too.
Gardener's World. And I was able to see on YouTube every night at the Chelsea Garden Show. And so that to me was like just healthy, interesting, just felt good with that tea and some
Mhm.
pastry and watching, some beautiful sweet peas, a whole section on it. So that was good during all of that. But it's just doing some of that stuff as opposed to just being in the world of online. And for me, the coding and the issues and all of that, just stepping away from that abstract, insane world
Mhm.
and the news and just
Yeah.
be like, okay,
Yeah, I think that what you're sort of tapping into is, our attention span has become so short, and it's
yes,
presented to us. Everything that's presented to us are in
yes,
these little microscopic little chunks, right? And Monty Don, for instance, I'll sit there and I'll watch the whole entire thing, and I don't get bored watching it because it's interesting. I'm getting information from somebody who's a professional, and it's just his perspective. And it kind of reminds me of the old Martha Stewart show, you
okay,
know, pre-prison, and, and
right,
but what was great about it was that she went out and they spent a whole segment talking about, for instance, you know, moldings and how the moldings are made
yeah,
in your house and
okay.
how it's designed. And you go to the factory and you see all the process behind it and realize that there's craftsmen behind that,
And we gave
or
ourselves times to watch that whole bit as opposed to we only get 15 seconds quick bit on Instagram kind of thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I know.
fascinating.
I love that too. All of that type. Monty, one of the things I noticed right away when I got into watching Gardener's World that worked on me emotionally and the calming part was Gardener's World starts, it's quiet. They're showing you some close up of trees, or he's clipping something, or he's just walking with his dog. And the only sound you hear is nature for at least 15 seconds. We don't have TV shows here. It starts with an explosion or the
Right.
quiet. And then finally he'll say, hello, I'm Monty Don and welcome to Gardener's World. And my shoulders go down.
Right, right. Interesting. I think that let's see, CBS Sunday Morning, they have that nature sequence, but that's at the very, very end,
Right,
right?
right.
And
Like
it's nature, and it's
that
just like,
feeling.
okay, yeah, exactly. But to have it at the beginning, that's really interesting,
Yeah,
you
I
know?
found that right
And
away that was fine in that show as opposed to the TV shows, that are normally on, which have to start literally with a bang to get people's attention and a dramatic thing, that it was
right.
just quiet and how that affected me emotionally to be like, oh, and breathe. Okay.
And it
Um,
allowed you to make that shift, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. So I just think we have to acknowledge that we've forgotten how far away we've come from being able to read gourmet and make the food to a magazine. And maybe lots of people are still living it, but I know so many of us in the creative world, we've had to keep up and run with the pace of how it's all done.
Yep.
I don't think we notice how fast we're running every day now.
I think that's very true.
So,
And I think that we're pre-programmed, or we program ourselves at some point in our lives to keep running, especially Americans. We're the worst at like go, 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 got
yeah.
the next thing, next thing, next thing, and yeah, I like that what you're talking about, Monty Don, at the very beginning, though.
Oh, yeah.
It allows you to just, calm
Without being
down and
guilt ridden, which I
right.
noticed, because for me and being in New York City and working my whole life and all that, I'm used to working at that pace. And when it stops, I feel a little guilty, like, wait, what didn't I do kind of thing. And with Monty Don, I noticed the process and how it just, oh, I can also be calm and watch this and be okay. I need some, well, it's Friday night. I don't know if he's back at his farm yet. I'll have to see if they're on tonight, but it's my Friday night treat to be able to watch that and be a little calm. That and sleep. And then I'll be excited to wake up feeling I can't even use the term refreshed anymore, Patrick. I don't think I've felt refreshed for a while.
Little cold water on the face, that'll help.
I'm going to tell you the truth right now, and people listening. I took a shower right before my hair is wet um, because I was working. I volunteer at a horse rescue barn. So I came home, I took a shower, and at the end, I did put the cold water on. I'm like, okay, you better put some cold water on, girl, to wake yourself up. It didn't do much, the cold water this time. So,
It's reminding me of this is a real flashback. Do you remember Mommy Dearest, the
yeah,
the
the
film,
movie.
the movie? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And she goes in and she does her facial routine, which includes handfuls of ice on her face.
Oh,
I don't know if you
God.
remember. And I think maybe she put vodka on herself. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what the whole routine was, but it was like a severe routine.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, no, my life is nowhere
You're
near
not
that
there
way.
yet. No.
No, no. Hey, I love my life. I'm grateful for everything. I just notice when enough stuff happens and you reach that level of exhaustion that I forget how you have to take care of yourself. So that's the trickiest part for me.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes that's difficult to remind yourself
Yeah,
of that because you or not, anyone would, you're used to a standard of how
yeah,
things are,
yeah,
and so then your expectations get to be more, and then you realize, oh, at some point that those expectations are just way out of proportion because you've just been, starting from this baseline, right?
yeah.
And it's okay to have that baseline just go up a little. You don't have to, take off like a rocket. I don't know if any of that makes sense.
Well, it makes me think about how for me, yeah, it's just, I have to remember like when I feel that exhaustion, I will go through what have I done so far today? And then
Mm,
I'll have all 10 fingers. Well, you did that. Remember, you did the laundry, then you had to go there, and then you clean that up, and then you went to the dump, and then you wrote a copy and I'm like, oh, that's why.
right, right. Well, this hits something with me because I my friends all know that I say this, but it's I say ask a different question. Our brains are programmed to always ask a question and then answer it. But a lot of times our brains will ask a question, but then if we're tired, it's going to make up an answer, even if it's not necessarily true. And
Oh,
so, if we
okay.
can change our perspective on the questions that we're asking ourselves, instead of saying, why am I a failure? Why am I a failure? Why
Right,
am
right,
I a
right,
failure? If you
right.
say, why am I a failure? Well, guess what? It's going to answer, I'm a failure because A, B, C, D, and E. But if you ask a different question and you say exactly what you said, what have I done today?
Yeah,
What successful things have I done today?
yeah,
Then guess what? You're going to list all of those successful things.
yeah,
And then you keep on with that. So
yeah.
ask a different question in
That's
your
good.
head.
Yay, thank you. That's a good one. Yeah, I, I've been doing it just out of desperation some nights, but it's true because then all of a sudden I feel like, all right, you did everything you said you're going to do. Chill out. You're allowed to just, when people tell me that they chill, oh, I'm just going to spend the night chilling out. I'm like, can you please tell me what that looks like so I know how people. I remember the first time I was working at Radio City and working with the Rockettes and dressers, and I remember someone saying that to me. No, I'm looking forward tonight. I'm just going to chill, and I'm like, I just want to know what does that mean? Because you got to. Do you just sit and stare at the wall? I mean, what does chilling look like to you? And that sort of eludes me still because I don't. I'm a natural doer, so I have to do stuff. I don't get how people chill.
Right. Well, I mean, I think that's part of it is like I think there's a preconceived notion of what chilling is, right? But I think when I see you and I hear you talk,
Yes,
I think chilling for you is maybe with your needlepoint.
that's true. Yeah, yeah,
It's like that's meditative
correct.
and it's
Yeah,
relaxing, and that's your version of chilling, right?
right.
Even though you're doing something,
Correct.
you're not going to you're not going to make this thing and then put it in a magazine, or
Right. You're right.
you might put it on your blog if it's good enough,
Right,
but
right,
you're
right.
doing it for yourself,
Yeah. No,
you know?
you're absolutely 100% right. Because guess what? What I
Uh-oh.
do it's called block of the month. So you get a little bag of materials and threads, and for it's always a year long project. And 2 months ago, it was very intense. And because of who I am, I have to make sure I'm always done before the next thing shows up on the 8th of each month, of course. So I got it all done. And they said, because that one was so complicated with all the different things to cut out, and they send you a PDF of what they think you should do. This one had not a lot. So I'm done 2 weeks ahead. So I've been panicked not having it to do at night.
You'll have to sign up for another one.
So you're 100% correct, but I'm laughing going, huh. So
So tell me
that's
more about this. This is fascinating to me. So
what
it's a subscription
they
that
call it
you
BOM, block of the month, are pretty common in the world of um, needlework, embroidery. And what I do is it's hand quilting type of thing. So I this is my 10th year of doing it. I can't even
wow.
believe it. So
Wow.
you get like a package of materials and felts and little materials, not huge, but a package every month. And threads. At this point, I don't even order the threads because I have all the threads from 10 years. And then you get a printout of written instructions. This is not for the weak of heart at all,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
when you look at it, I know that it's like, how the heck am I going to ever? But I know I only read one line at a time, and then the second line, and then the third line, because it's a lot. But for me, it's exactly what you said. And it's just my way that I can sit there if the TV's on and still be doing color and a repetitive motion that's comforting. That is my chilling. You're 100% correct.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing something and yet it's not, it's literally just one hand doing something. So,
So is it a different project every month and you're building on it?
no,
So at the end of the year,
it's a year long quilt piece.
okay.
The woman who does this, her name is Sue Spargo. Anyone who's into any needlework or anything would know the name. And so it's um, you complete it. It's once a year, and I mean they are fantastic. I mean, I have people have come here. I've made them into wall hangings, and they're very stunning. And you can follow along exactly what she says, or you get to the point where you're making it up how you're doing. But I just realized one of the important things is I don't have to reinvent it. I can follow someone else's creative ideas. I can change it
Hmm.
if I like. But again, that gets me to chill too, because it's like, do what? Oh, I like that. I'll do that. Um, so that's an important thing to me too. And I like her
Right.
designs and all that, but I don't have to. I can follow someone else's ideas and not be reinventing in the evening
Nice.
like that. So, and then yeah, at the end of the year, you're done, and it's they can be quite stunning. They really are. And it's definitely my Zen approach at night, because what you just said, like I'm way ahead. I'm 2 weeks ahead. Last night I was like, okay, when will not until June 10th, probably.
Now you're going to have to guess at what's next. You're going to have to, that's what you should do. Start guessing and start working on it before it's there.
No, you can't. I picked up some old stuff that I had that I just play with to sort of fill in at night. But you're right. I laughed. I didn't have that. So, yeah, it's I have to be careful. Don't get too far ahead like that. Yeah. What do you do?
Oh gosh. I like to watch some TV.
Okay.
I do the TV watching, and I will just honestly sometimes I'll just go outside. I love sitting in the sun and just, hanging out in the backyard
Okay.
and really just perusing my iPad and looking at the squirrels,
Okay.
and we have the squirrels. Like I thought I had, I think if I'm repeating myself, just let me know. But I thought we had two squirrels, and we're like, okay, well, that's the two squirrels. They've been coming to we feed them and stuff like that. And then, like maybe 6 weeks ago, we saw three all at once, and we're like, oh wow, there's three squirrels. And so we're like, oh, haha, we didn't know there were three squirrels. They all look the same. La, 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 la. And then last week, actually, before we left for Center, all of a sudden I look outside and there were five squirrels. And they were all just like running around, having a good time, you know. And this morning we have a little fire pit, right? And there's four chairs around this fire pit. Well, this morning they all come out and they all have their different personalities, right? Some of them are braver and some of them are really shy. They all go to the feeder thing and they get their peanut and then they scamper back. Well, this time they scampered up the chairs and each one of them were sitting on the back thing of the chair. I'm like, I got to get a picture of this.
They're too
So
funny. They are.
that's what I do to relax, actually. Hey,
Well,
look at that squirrel, look at that bird.
I I do that as well. I do have a feeder that I've attached with suction cups in the kitchen out the window right there. And I love getting all the birds and they come, boom, then go one little seagull. And then a squirrel come in and put their butt down. And this, I don't know. My feeling is that it's a squirrel that knows that's always there because, it comes for dinner. I don't think maybe there are more than one, but it seems to me this squirrel knows where that friggin' feeder is and goes up and sits in there. And at first, I used to like chase him away, and now I'm like, nah, he needs to eat too. I'll let him sit in there and eat whatever he wants, and then
Yeah.
eventually he leaves. So, but it cracks me up when he comes up. Quite a few times he knocks the whole feeder off. That's a whole nother thing. But
Yeah, yeah.
what you're saying is very good. Simply watching wildlife like that, I love. Well, it's why I go to the rescue horse barn. I mean, this morning I just worked on with one horse grooming,
Hmm.
and actually my friend Meg and I both did it, and you could tell that she was, I'm sorry, loving it because the eyes would sort of close and you know, and you know, we were each brushing on each side, and think she's still pretty new in the barn. She didn't get much human contact before. So it's always interesting to see what horses it's safe enough to be around. But
Yeah.
you can really pick up on their vibe like 100%. Um, and that to me is very grounding and centering with
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
all of them. We're waiting to see there's a few mini horses that are like the size of a golden retriever or German
I've
shepherd.
seen them.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
And
A friend of
one of
mine
them's
was actually
giving
breeding them.
one of them's giving birth
Oh,
like this
wow.
weekend.
Wow.
And I was hoping it would have happened last night. I'll run up there when it happens because I can't be. Her name's Cucumber. Cucumber's not that big. No. So just talking to a horse is also helps me a tremendous amount. And just sweeping, cleaning manure, washing their buckets. It's definitely a good thing, as Martha
Yeah,
would
yeah.
say. Oh,
And they're benefiting from,
oh yeah.
from your
Oh yeah.
attention and, just
Oh no,
keeping
it
their,
goes both ways. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
It's a definite good thing that way. So yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's my thing. So well, you know, talking to you also helps me tremendously. I know when we share with each other, it's a good uplifting type of thing. And then we're ready to like, oh, all of a sudden you get a creative idea and you want to go think about it, do
Yeah.
something about it. So
Well, well, you're speaking of bird feeders.
yes,
Stephen gave me one for Christmas, and it has the
yes.
the camera inside of it.
Is that fun?
And here I got so burnt out. We're we're going back now. We're looping this all together like a Seinfeld episode.
Okay.
I got so burnt out from what I was doing, work and everything, that I said, okay, I'm just going to put it aside. I don't have time to do this. Going to put it aside, put it aside, put it aside. Here it is now, May, right? And I just put it up last week when we got home. Even though I wanted to, it's just
Isn't
been,
that interesting?
yeah, just it's crazy. And then so I got it all set up, and it has the camera, and it has a solar panel that charges the camera, and I got it all
Oh,
set up on the Wi-Fi and all that kind of stuff. And then it was, by the time I got done, it was like, I don't know, 8 o'clock or something at night. It was still daylight out here. And I'm like, oh, well, now I have to go buy bird seed now.
yes.
It's like I have to leave
Oh,
the
yeah.
house to get birds.
Yeah, they're not going to come without any seed in there.
It'll be another next May where they get their bird seed.
Oh, no.
No, no, it won't. It
All right,
won't.
good. I'm going to bug you to go get bird seed. I fill it up every morning. I do my dog's bowls, I do the bird seedy bowls, and then I make my coffee. So,
Yeah.
and then we all enjoy our morning routine.
Our
So,
morning feeding routine is we
exactly.
feed the squirrels.
Yes.
So we have a big thing of, of like an old bonsai
Oh, okay.
container, fill
Okay.
those full of nuts, and then one by one they come and they get their nuts. And then the birds, the blue jay, not blue jays, scrub jays, and they will come as well. And it's similar to the scrub jay that I had at the old house, the one that I had trained.
Uh-huh.
And these birds are getting a lot friendlier as well, and they actually take turns with the squirrel. So it's like,
Okay, it's bringing a smile to my
there you
face.
go.
We just have to go. Yeah, I think that's our best advice for people. Just go watch some nature. It always sort of mellows you out that way. Mine is that and playing with some toys like a kid.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's that's my best advice to people. Go get a toy to play with from your youth and go sit outside and look up, play with your toy and look up and watch some birds and some squirrels. Guaranteed it'll bring a smile to your face pretty fast.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think outside is one of those things that is an instant mind shift.
I agree.
Out of the studio, then you're outside, and
Yeah,
I'll
I
go
agree.
out and I found myself actually just looking at the clouds because it's been so cloudy lately,
Okay.
cloudy and sunny, and I found
Right.
myself looking up at and doing that thing where you're just like, oh, that looks like an elephant,
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
sort of,
Oh yeah, I've done that too recently.
and it's
Yeah.
like it was relaxing, and I didn't even realize I was relaxing outside. So
My friend Megan, who's retired and talks about it, she goes, well, you have to remember that you can just take some time to do live. You don't have to be producing all the time. I'm like, what? Who said that? Oh,
yeah,
all
just
right. Let me think
just
about it. Yeah.
be. Yeah, just be,
Yep.
You
Yep.
don't have to Google everything. You can
Yeah.
have a question that's not answered. You don't have to know the name of that actor you could just not know.
Oh, that's the best advice ever because that's a good habit to break. At least for a weekend, break the habit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know.
I think it's funny how different people, do that. Some people are really like they're as soon as you say something, they're on it. Da, 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 da,
Oh
da,
yeah.
you know?
Oh, I am. If we're having out conversation or someone says something, I can't remember who that actor. Oh, I'm on all the time. I'm like, oh, what was
Yeah,
that? Yeah. So,
yeah,
but it's not terrible, but breaking the habit a bit is also breaking any habit, I think is a good thing to do. So
yeah.
just for a bit, give yourself a break that way. Well, with that, I'm going to go sit outside, look at the birds, see who's in the bird feeder. Um, and then I'm going to see if any little seeds have propped up in my flower garden. And maybe I'll bring my color pencils outside and scribble a little more.
Well, that sounds lovely.
I think
Very
so.
nice.
I think it'll
Very
be fun.
nice.
And you, what are you going to do this evening? I know you're going out dancing and partying at the
It's
disco.
back to well, it is Friday. It's back to the club. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
so that's happening. You
People
know,
know, everyone, he's kidding. Patrick and I just have a joke because in our 20s, we were club goers like every night. So, exactly. So I always say to Patrick, what time are you going to the club tonight? He goes, I'm still going. I'm still out one morning he said to me. I said, are you home yet? No, I'm still dancing. So that's our insider joke.
well, I still do live that. I still do live that because I have a disco ball and laser lights in the studio.
That you put on at 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah, we at all times,
All the time. Okay,
all
good.
times. Yeah,
Okay,
usually it's like if I'm having a class or something, we finish it, we turn on the disco ball and just
it's
like
fun.
start dancing to ABBA,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, good.
So yeah, I still have, but she's all hooked up to Siri though, so I have to talk to Siri or Alexa, and I'm like, Alexa, turn on the disco ball. Oh, modern life.
I know. I had to unplug my Alexa because my son's fiance, who I adore, her name is Alexa.
You can change it.
I
You
couldn't
can
be
change it to
bothered.
computer. You can
I
just say,
I could, I know. But wait, yeah. I just decided I could remove that. That was one thing I could stop for a while.
yeah, yeah. We depend on ours all the
Oh, you
time.
do? Oh, I don't depend on
Yeah,
mine. Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
asking her the weather,
Okay.
timer. She's great for timers, you know.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a
Yeah,
good point. Don't tell
but
me
we,
that. I might plug it in again, but right now I don't need it. I have enough electronics keeping me going. So,
yeah,
um, yeah, yeah, I think I want another. Yeah, I like a weekend of less electronics right now, just because I love electronics, but just as a cleanse,
yeah, yeah. That might be
a little
nice.
cleansing. So
A
we don't have
little.
anything. Yeah, we don't have anything coming up. Craftcast we have coming up in June, our June I Love Tools, but we got a few weeks for that. You're on that.
Yay.
And
What am I
then
producing?
you're
What
doing,
am I showing?
I wasn't going to say anything to you live right now, but
Okay.
y- you're working on it, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I do have something. Well, the reason I ask is because I have multiple things. And so I'm like, what did I tell her I was going to do? So we could talk
Yeah.
offline.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll
But
always
there's a
figure out
couple of things
something.
the thing about it is there's a
Okay,
couple
good.
of things I'm really, really excited
Okay,
about
good.
that I want to share. So,
I think
you know,
that's what you said to me last time, so I wasn't concerned. I knew it would be something. But whenever a teacher's excited like that, I'm like, great, sounds good. Everyone's excited about what they're sharing, so it'll be a good one. And then also, um, one of the things that's great is Pam East is doing a complete base metal clay workshop making buttons, but she showed me, well, she says but she shows how to make beautiful buttons, but it could be charm. She turns it into a bracelet, all kinds of things. But she even showed me today, she is going to show even how to add some gemstones into base metal clay, how to fire, how to do it, a whole thing. It's going to be fantastic. She showed me just an hour ago some of the pieces that she came out of the kiln, excitingly perfect. So that'll be
nice.
fun. Yeah, because we haven't had anything that really gets into handling base metal clays
Ah,
and how
yes, yes.
beautiful they are. So,
As a matter of fact, one of my latest projects involves completely all base metal clay.
oh, really? See, there you go.
Yeah, yeah. And so I've been, experimenting with it myself, and it's been a lot of fun,
Yeah. And the
and
colors are
just,
beautiful. I
oh yeah,
love I love the bronze color and all that. So, yeah. All right.
fun. I'll have to keep my eye out for that and
Yeah.
make some tips.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be it's good. I've been seeing the little previews of it. So very good. All right, darling. Well, Am I meeting at what time do we meet at the club tonight? Around what, midnight, 11:45 or so? What do you think?
Yeah, 11:45. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be
Definitely
there.
not before 10. I
Oh
mean,
gosh, no, 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 no.
yeah, yeah. That's not,
Um, yeah, I'll be there. I'll be dressed and ready to partay.
all right. Are you going to be in the VIP lounge or should I look in Gen Pop?
Uh, just look on the dance floor. I'll be the girl in the middle.
Okay.
You'll see
I'll be
me.
I'll be the guy with the tambourine and the fans.
You know, you'll have no problem finding me. All right, hon, have a great
All
weekend.
righty. Take care. Bye. Bye, everybody.
I hope you enjoyed today's chat. You can follow us and subscribe at Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And please take a look at all our amazing video tutorials at craftcast.com.